Corrie's Jane Danson, I was so terrified of Coronation Street fame I couldn't leave my house for a year. As she celebrates her 20th anniversary on the ITV soap, Leanne Battersby star Jane Danson has revealed her secret real-life struggle with fame. As Coronation Street's Leanne Battersby, Jane Danson has seen it all. She's been beaten up by her own child, become addicted to drugs, had numerous affairs, and even turned to prostitution. All the while, Jane proved she was clearly born for life in Weatherfield, becoming as beloved as the legends that went before her. But now as she celebrates her 20th anniversary on the ITV soap, Jane has revealed a secret real-life struggle. Her overnight fame made her terrified to leave her house for a year. While her co-stars hit the clubs and parties, Jane locked herself away, fearing public abuse, for being gobby neighbor from her Leanne. Even today Jane admits she can still get overwhelmed when she realizes how famous she is. But she has loved her time on the cobbles so much, she could see herself staying for another 20 years. Mum of two Jane also tells how she's feeling broody acting with babies again after her own tragic miscarriage, how she'll cope without departing on-screen hubby Ben Price, and how she still fears Leanne could be killed off at any point. Jane says, "It's really weird thinking it's been 20 years. My contract was initially for 3 months. I never expected the Battersbys to be so big." In fact, a teletext poll when we joined said 97% of viewers wanted Corrie to get rid of us. In April 1997, Jane, who had had child star roles for 7 years, arrived at Manchester's Granada studios as a fresh-faced 18-year-old. Born in Bury, she was a huge Corrie fan and in awe of Barbara Knox, Bill Roache, Anne Kirkbride and the rest. But while she couldn't wait to get work each day, Jane struggled with instant fame. "I couldn't cope with it," Jane explains. "I had this amazing job, and by 19 had my own little house, but I just sat inside. I'd be scared of someone throwing a drink in my face. Coping with the attention was terrifying. So I just sort of stayed at home, ate biscuits and put on a stone. It was good in one sense. You are young and earning money. There are parties, drink and other things. So my relationship with my barrel of biscuits was pretty okay." Jane, who trained at Oldham Theatre Workshop with co-star Anthony Cotton, started coming out of her shell when she met her husband, former Emmerdale star Robert Beck, now 46, at the 1999 British Soap Awards. 18 years later they have 2 sons, Harry, 10, and Sam, 8, and one of showbiz's most enduring marriages. "He had been there and done it and said it would be okay," smiles Jane. "If I am brutally honest, I still don't like being center of attention. I just see myself as a normal person. I only joined Twitter as someone else was pretending to be me." She loves however that Leanne, now Tilsley, has always had fight in her belly, and feels pride when fans say her tough storylines have helped them. In the latest, Leanne had a baby with Steve MacDonald while Steve's wife Michelle, played by Kym Marsh, had a late miscarriage. It was poignant as Kym had a stillborn, Archie. 7 years ago, Simon Gregson, who plays Steve, has been through 11 miscarriages and Jane miscarried 2 years ago. She says, "When we first started, it was still really raw for me. But she now feels at peace with it, adding, I get to hug these most beautiful babies. I love babies. They make me broody. I'll be 39 in November. You do think, oh, am I getting a bit old for that now?" Hard as it has been, Jane, Kym and Simon have earned nominations in the upcoming British Soap Awards. Jane feels specially honored to be nominated again in her anniversary year and incredibly lucky to have spent 20 years working with legends like Bill, Barbara, Sally Dinver, as well as Georgia Taylor, her sister Toya, and Chris Gascoigne and Ben Price, who play her 2 husbands, Peter Barlow and Nick Tilsley. "When I first heard Leanne was going to be working with Rita, Barbara, in the cabin, I was like, oh my God," smiles Jane. "I was determined to show her I wasn't just some kid messing about. And Bill is just awesome. He never drops a line and he's so kind. Sally is an inspiration, and Helen Worth always tells us to just say if we are upset about anything. Jane is especially sad Ben is leaving after 7 years together. I'm so gutted, she says. We have never had a crossword. Jane, of course, found her real Prince Charming in husband Rob, of ITV's Home Fires. She says, we deal with things together. We have been through good times and some really upsetting times. We wrote our own wedding vows and one was to go off and do our own things, which is important. While Jane says Corrie is her other family, she is always aware Leanne can still be killed off. She confided, you can't take anything for granted. The 18-year-old wanted to conquer the acting world. Now I kind of realize I have conquered the world I wanted to conquer. I've got 2 great kids, a gorgeous husband, and a fantastic job. You can't ask much more. Would I stay in Corrie another 20 years? As long as viewers want me, then why not? To vote Jane Danson for Best Actress in the British Soap Awards, visit www.britishsoapawards.tv. Voting closes on May 26. The ceremony is on June 3 at Manchester's The Lowry.